like the prayers, the music, and the snacks and games. I pretty much like all of it.
کودکان ارزشمند ترین دارایی یک جامعه و امید و ضامن آینده‌اند. اما در دنیایی که شور و معصومیت کودکی به آسانی می‌تواند دستمایۀ هجوم اهداف ماده گرایانه قرار گیرد، تعلیم و تربیت روحانی و اخلاقی کودکان اهمیت حیاتی می‌یابد.
Spiritual education is very, very important as we do not receive any of that education in the normal schools. So I'm very, very grateful and happy that we have such a class close by.
It's a joy to continue on. I think kids do need reinforcement that, you know, they are noble beings. And I think this setting and this community that we're building really supports them as an individual, in their individual soul, expressing beauty in the world.
جامعه بهایی نسبت به نیاز پاسخگویی به آرمان‌های روحانی کودکان در تمامی سطوح حساسیت نشان می‌دهد. فعالیت‌های آموزشی برای کودکان اغلب از نخستین فعالیت‌هایی است که در یک جامعه شکل می‌گیرند و گسترش می‌یابند.
It's like 2018 and I can still remember like the first knocking on doors. We knew one family in like this whole neighborhood.
The first time I met her, the kids was telling me about a children's class. So when I was like, a children's class, I'm new to the neighborhood, I'm new to the area. So then Miss Danita, she had came to me and was just like, hey, you know, I'm Danita. And she gave me a flyer with her number and everything on it. And she was like, we do have a children's class. Your daughter wanted to join. So is it okay? And I was like, okay. You know, as a parent, if you come in, you meet the other parent, it's like, okay, now you're building a trust.
You know, really thinking to myself, what is it that I really want to do? And one thing was like, just connect with hearts. You know, like, of course we want to start activities, but first we want to know, like, what are the aspirations of the friends, of the people here? How can we all contribute? From the very beginning, seeing every person, you know, as like a protagonist, as a contributor. You know, we need to hear from each other. It's no way we can do these things that need to happen for us to have a better world and a better neighborhood if we don't do it together.
جوانان بزرگتر معمولاً مشتاقند تا مسئولیت پرورش کودکان اطراف خود را به عهده گیرند و در این مسیر پا نهند. مسیری سهل و در عین حال ممتنع که با چالش‌های فراوانی نیز روبروست.
Well, it's important because they can connect with God, but it's also a good way to make more friends. Because when I first moved here, I didn't know any of these kids except for the ones in my building and my little sister.
The challenge at this moment for the children's classes is finding more children. So I'm planning on maybe reaching out to different neighbors who I haven't met before. I mean, it doesn't really make me nervous, but that's something that I'm gonna have to kind of put myself out there and do. Because I've already introduced it to my neighbors that I know, that I talk to like almost every day. So now that's, I guess, my challenge is trying to get even more people.
I have never entered into a children's class. I was raised as a Christian, so I was the usher, I was in the choir, even on the step team, but I actually had never started doing children's classes. Going
going to door by door, letting them know exactly like what a Baha'i class is all about. They need to understand what the faith is all about. And that's really just the oneness of humanity. Being able to let them know, hey, listen, I know you may be Muslim, or you may be Christian, or you may be Buddhist, okay. But at the end of the day, we have to come together, like I tell them, in a state of prayer, no matter their color, no matter their age, and also their religious background, that we actually can build unity. So it made me more comfortable to let people know, like, why are we separating ourselves? It really kind of doesn't make sense when we really look at the ultimate goal, which is having a love for God, but having a love for one another and ourselves too.
It can feel challenging to go knock on a neighbor's door, to invite them to come to a children's class, or to come and have prayers, or to just say hello and introduce yourself. But the way that I see it is like, this is just a member of my family or a friend that I just haven't had an opportunity to meet yet. And so I think that takes away a lot of the fear and anxiety. And really, to me, in a lot of ways, it's something that should be natural, that we should naturally do, that we should have spiritual conversations, have uplifting conversations. And I think somehow, maybe in the society, a lot of things that should be normal have become a little bit abnormal, and the things that should be, that are a little strange, maybe have become a little bit too normal. So I think that, these activities that help us to put things back into perspective.
I think the thing that made me feel really comfortable about Danita is that she's very friendly and inviting. And then her children and my children got along very well. It was like they were best friends from back in the day. So I was like, I think this might be a good thing to try. It has helped my children become more outspoken. They're more comfortable with talking to other children. They're more respectful of the community and the environment, and they think about the consequences of their actions rather than just doing things.
I was a little bit hesitant when I was gonna start doing the children's classes.
I was wondering what type of responses will we actually get, from these neighbors, especially with us, for an example, going to different neighborhoods that we actually don't live in. So we stand out, immediately. But however, I just enjoyed the fact that I knew the purpose of why we were knocking on their doors. We wasn't trying to force them to be a part of religion. We wasn't trying to get money out of them. We wasn't even trying to actually get their full undivided attention and time. We just wanted to make sure that we had a foundation and just a space for their children and for their junior youth to be able to learn about their virtues with one another in the neighborhood, learn what community and building unity is all about, like being able to actually know that community service doesn't have to be a chore. It can actually be something enjoyable to do, with your family and as well as with your friends. Unity, that it can eliminate the whole earth. So powerful is the light of unity that it can eliminate the whole earth.
It's not a burden that the family has to bear. It's not at all. It's our source of joy, it's our source of inspiration. And certainly being in a position where we're able to learn from what people here are doing is something very inspiring for the whole family.
راستش رو بخوای هم من خیلی حتی برای مدرسه بچه‌هام همینطور خیلی دوست دارم با معلم‌ها در تماس باشم که ببینم راجع به پیشرفت بچه‌ها یا چیزایی که یاد گرفتن اطلاع داشته باشم که اگه بشه توی خونه‌ام بشه اون چیزایی رو که آموزش می‌بینن تو خونه‌ام باهاشون تکرار بکنم و تمرین کنم که یادشون نره.
I learned a prayer. I go home and I go tell my family and friends and my mom and my dad, and then they get to learn the prayer, so they know it. And I can, every time I come over here, I can just teach them more things.
So every time she comes, it's like she has something new to tell me. She tells me something different, a different prayer, or she remembers different things, or she's humming the prayers or singing the prayers when we driving. I'm like, what are you singing? She goes, the prayer I remember from Miss Danita's house. And it kind of helps me too. It is helping me.
But a tiny seed which thou hast sown in the soil of thy love and cause to spring forth.
When you hear your child, outside of the class in a different context at home or when they're with friends, you hear them make a comment or say something that you're proud of, something that shows the spiritual qualities that they're learning in their children's class and that they're developing in their children's class, and you see it come out outside of the class. And that, I think that happens to every single parent whose child is in a children's class on an ongoing basis. So those are the really golden moments.
I like the stories, and I like how our teacher asks us the questions at the end.
There's a lot of suffering in this neighborhood. There's a lot of people who are working very hard, but grandmas raising young toddlers and families who are working, parents who are working a lot of different shifts and trying to manage childcare at the same time. So there's a lot of difficulty, especially as the children get to be a little bit older. There's a lot of influences on them. So we see a lot of pain and honestly a lot of suffering. There's also people moving in and out because for different family reasons. And so as a challenge for the children's class, that means it's hard for families to really focus on this, that they're happy that we're doing it. They're happy, I think they're happy that the children are happy, the families who are so supportive, and they are happy that their children are experiencing it, but they don't always have the time and energy to come out and work with us and do things with us. So we're very happy we have a few grandmas who come and hang out with us and see the class and work with us. But really, like just now, there's one mom who's very supportive, but she's going to school and working and raising 2 children. So she really, and another one we just talked to again, she's got 3 kids. This is her middle child. One's a teenager, one's a toddler. She's working, she's going to school. So there's a lot of people trying to improve their life, and we really respect and admire them for doing that.
We really see the parents and us as that we're partnering in a common goal. That, these children are flowers, and for them to express their beauty in the world, to confidently, express themselves, to arise in service, to be models for other children. It's really a process of harvesting their virtues that are already there, but they're not confident in, manifesting them and expressing them.
Oh, actually, I think it was ego. How ego is something inside you, and you don't know when it's coming out, but it's always there.
I just love working with kids, and I love teaching them. And my reward is seeing that they're learning and understanding.
We might have different paces and different strides, but we're still ultimately trying to do the same thing. We're trying to figure out how we all can contribute, to the betterment of the world, but starting with our own community and neighborhood.
مؤسسات آموزشی بهایی در سراسر دنیا نقش هرچه مهمتری در تهیه مواد درسی و تربیت مربی جهت برگزاری کلاس‌های تعلیم و تربیت روحانی کودکان ایفا نمودند. دروس کلاس‌های بهایی برای کودکان که با کلاس 1 برای سن 5 یا 6 سالگی آغاز می‌گردد، بر کسب خصائل روحانی همچون صداقت، بخشندگی، پاکی قلب و مهربانی تاکید دارد. صفاتی الهی که در آینه قلب انسان انعکاس می‌یابد. مطالب آموزشی سال به سال بر فهم شرکت کنندگان از این خصائل می‌افزاید. این دوره همچنین شامل نوت‌ها و اشعار سرودهایی است که برای استفاده کودکان مناسب می‌باشد.
Blessed is the spot, blessed is the spot. Blessed is the spot, blessed is the spot. Blessed is the spot, blessed is the spot. Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and the heart and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God has been made. What? And His praise glorified, glorified. What? And His praise glorified, glorified. What? And His praise glorified, glorified.
One challenge is just that sometimes the number of children can grow faster than the number of children's class teachers that we have. So after a little while, we realized, if we want to continue to expand and grow the number of children that we're inviting to our children's class, that we have to simultaneously go out and have conversations where we're inviting the youth and the parents to learn about what it means to be children's class teachers. So yeah, there are always challenges, but then through thought and prayer and reflection, there are always opportunities to turn those stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
Living in a society, particularly in America, where there's a lot of fear and anxiety, I want to help the parents to understand that with faith and with confidence, you can live happily because your faith will keep you moving forward without being afraid. So when it comes to the children's classes, I believe that once they understand the purpose of it is to develop the spiritual virtues and confidence and to be of service to humanity, their interest will peak.